Welcome into a special edition of Rebound Off the Net as we preview the Salina Liberty's 2025 season. I'm your host, Joshua Cox. The Liberty finished the 2024 season 7-3, losing in the semifinals of the AFL playoffs at the Albany Firebirds. They look to take the next step and compete for the inaugural AF1 championship in 2025. Here to help me preview the Liberty is four-time champion AFL Hall of Famer. He is the head coach of the Salina Liberty, Heron O'Neill. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Joshua. I'm happy to be back on here and very privileged to be in Arena One. Moving forward to this 2025 season, like you said, trying to make these adjustments to get to that next step and not just get there, but actually win the whole thing. So that's what we've been working diligently on this whole off season.
Absolutely. Tell us about the offseason there in Salina.
It was kind of crazy. Just the season itself was very difficult. One of the most difficult seasons I've ever been a part of. If it wasn't for our great ownership group, we definitely would have faltered. If it wasn't for all those players that we had that understand that we're doing everything we can to make sure games are put on first class, I don't think we would have been able to get it done. And I don't think we would have been able to get it done if we didn't have the great coaching that we did have. Coach Martinez, Coach King, he came in and did a big job for me, a great job for me, giving us that boost to get us into the playoffs and make some noise last year. So I got to give thanks to Coach Martinez, Coach King for doing the things they did for me as well.
You were a coaching free agent this offseason. You signed a 3-year deal there in Salina. Why'd you decide to stay there in Salina?
Well, if you look back at everything, the ownership group, it kept coming back to my mind of understanding what they bring to the game, what they bring to me personally, how I feel like they're family to me. They treat me like I'm family there. The city of Salina, um, the work they've done to make sure we keep our team there, the growing numbers of sponsors that we've included even more this year. The ticket sales are up. All of those things were trending in the right direction. Looking at 5 years ago when I was a free agent again, doing what we did there in Salina. If you look back at the 5 years I've been in Salina, 4 years let me rewind it. 5 years of straight semifinals, and 4 out of those 5 years, national title games, winning one in 2022. I don't think anybody can say they've been on a run quite like that. And I can take some credit for it, but a lot had to do with that ownership group. We got some great men and women in that ownership group that actually care about the city of Salina, number one, because they're from there. They work in the community, and just the people that I've met in Salina, the different sponsors I've met in Salina, it made it very, very difficult to refuse all of those good things. And yeah, it was each year it's teams that come in and they talk and things of that nature. But it's going to take something very special to take me away from that, because I feel like, we've built this organization up. When I came to Salina, they were 3 wins and 21 losses. They were not what we are now. And I just looked at all the hard work that the ownership group did, all the hard work that all those players in those 5 years have done, and all the hard work that I've done, and the sacrifices I've made being away from my family, my wife, Nisha, and my daughter, Mia, my son. All of that culminated with me making that decision to say, you know what, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We're trending the right way, so why change it at this moment?
Yeah. You're entering your third league in 3 years there in Salina, as well as a lot of other teams across the league. How do you feel about the state of the new league as we enter 2025?
I'm liking the new direction. Jerry Kerr's doing his thing at the top. Coach Fisher is the commissioner doing his thing, using the connections that they have to make this thing work. Just the professionalism of how they conduct business. Adding Gary Compton, who was an ex-teammate of mine in 2000 and 2001 when we played together with the Milwaukee Mustangs in the Arena One. Bringing him on board, having weekly meetings ever since they've come on board, just getting information in real time, being able to reach out and actually talk to the people you need to talk to rectify a problem before it becomes a bigger problem, are things that I see that we're trending again in the right direction with the leadership in which we have, as well as, with my ownership group, they see it as this is the best opportunity for us. And, I weigh a lot of things into that. That was some of the decision making there. What league are we going to? What are we trying to do? All of that came together. But just looking at how it's going and how it's moving right now, I'm definitely excited. I'm looking forward to some of the new teams that's in there. I'm looking forward to some of the rivalries we're starting to um, garner with the different teams we played last year and the previous years. So it's very exciting times in Salina. I can't wait to get to training camp, get started, and break open all those new presents that we got, as far as the free agents that we brought in and rookies that we brought in. It's almost like Christmas, so I'm very, very excited.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's talk about your division a little bit there. You'll be in the Central. There's 3 teams in the Central. It'll be Southwest Kansas and Corpus Christi with you all. What do you think about your Central division there?
It's definitely going to be a tough division. Southwest Kansas, um, 3 tough games we played against those guys. It's never easy out there. Um, Looking forward to doing that again. Also, Corpus Christi is a new team, but they played for a championship in the league that they were in last year and almost won that. So it's very, very difficult division that we're in. Um, Looking forward to seeing Corpus Christi. I've never been to Corpus Christi, just to take a look around and see all that and have some good games. I think it's going to be some great football play. With they've signed some great players. Corpus Christi just signed Darius Prince. I mean, a guy that arguably is the best receiver, arguably to ever really play arena football, or at least in these last 5 years. I don't know anybody putting up numbers like he's putting them up. Corpus Christi got 2 great quarterbacks down there as well. So they got other good receivers to go with him. Great offensive line and defensive line play. And then if you look back at kind of what Southwest Kansas is doing, it bringing in ex-NFL and CFL, UFL, XFL players. So it's going to be a very difficult division, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah. There's going to be some rule changes this year. There's going to be no 3 or 4 point plays. There's going to be no Iron Man. What are your thoughts on the rule changes around the league this year?
Um, I don't really get into the rules or anything like that, as far as a preference one way or the other. I just look at whatever they kind of come up with and make a plan that's conducive to winning, putting our players in the best situation week in, week out, teaching the fundamentals that's going to help them when they get tired, keeping them in shape, keeping them motivated. Those are things I spend more times on than actual rule changes, because each year you're going to have them. Some going to agree, some not going to agree. So why cry or whine about something you have zero control over? Just go ahead and make the adjustments and move on.
You all are known to play a non-traditional arena style offense. You do a lot of shotgun. What drives you to that and incorporating new wrinkles into the arena game that hasn't been previously seen?
Well, I kind of look back at, just football in general. The forward pass was a phenomenon back in the day. So, and then not only the forward pass, then came the play action pass, then came the shotgun. So we'll do a little bit of everything, looking at everything and making sure our players are ready to go, and understanding what you can and can't do. Um, and looking at the teams that have been successful at doing this and emulating a lot what they have done, but putting our own spin on it. I have my own philosophies on different things as well. But very excited to continue to do the things that have made me successful, which is following my gut instinct. That's how I call plays. That's how I make game plans. That's how I make adjustments, is with my gut. So my gut is telling me just to be multiple, continue to be the different in some aspects and a lot alike in a lot of others, to keep people off balance and not as comfortable going against us. That's a great thing. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of different things this year offensively, and looking forward to all the personnel that we did bring in, using them offensively.
Y'all went to Albany in the playoffs last year and gave them a heck of a game. What's going to take to take the next step and go into contention for the championship this year?
Well, staying healthy. We had 2 major injuries right there in our 2 playoff games. That, not to take anything away from any team that we played, we give them utmost respect. We lost and we won a playoff game. I'm not going to play that game. But to lose the defensive MVP in that Albany game, I would like to say that had somewhat of a factor. I'm not going to say we would have won, lost. I'm not doing that, but I would have loved to have him healthy, and I would have loved to have Tracy Brooks healthy, playing that game as well. So, but you got to give all due praise to what Albany was able to do and maximize the home field advantage that they had and how they do things up that way. They're first class from the top to the bottom. Coach Ware had his guys ready to go. We gave them our best punch. We gave them everything we had. We just ran out of gas, and they were the superior team on that day. So looking back at it, the health is something that if you're healthy going to the playoffs, it at least gives you a puncher's chance. But everybody was banged up. Everybody's going to have injuries. Everybody's going to have that. But not many were missing the defensive player of the year and a Tracy Brooks as well. So definitely like our chances now moving forward with all those guys healthy, having both of those guys back. Looking forward to having Kerry Starks back as well. Didn't really get a good feel when he played 2 games for us, but he's going to be a dog for us at that MAC linebacker and that defensive end spot. So just health, got to have a little luck, as well as just making adjustments in real time. Working with my coaching staff, I'm very excited with what we have coming in. The one I'm really excited about is Larachi Jackson, is a guy that has played indoor football. He's played arena football. He's played for championships, won championships. To bring that different defensive philosophy in that he has, because arena football is arena football, but when you know it the way Larachi knows it, it definitely brought a very big smile to my face of what he's going to bring to the table. To actually have that help from him is going to be huge. So him and Coach Martinez at this point, those are my coaches, as well as having, Dylan Medicina. He's our analyst that comes on game day and help us out analytically. So looking forward to everything. But with that new staff and our new toys, as I like to say, our free agents and rookies, I can't wait to get started.
You talked a little about your division there a little bit. Outside of your division, you're going to bring in Albany and Billings. You also get to go to Orlando, Arizona, Wilkes-Barre. What are your thoughts on some of these games you get to play outside of your division?
Never went to Wilkes-Barre before. I don't think the only time I've been in, I think that's Pennsylvania, is when I played for the Bears and we played the Steelers. That's the only time I've ever been in that state. So that's going to be something that's going to be like kind of what I was mentioning with the Corpus Christi thing. I've never been there to Corpus Christi, never been to Wilkes-Barre. I've been to Orlando, played there in that their old building a couple times. So looking forward to seeing how Coach E.J. Burt does his thing down there. He's a great coach as well. Looking forward to Arizona. Um, I've played Arizona, I think, one time in my playing career when we played Arena One. So just to see how that looks and um, enjoy some of that sunshine as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Looking at our schedule of having those guys on it and just starting new rivalries. Those are new teams to us that we've never played. And I think it's going to be fun as a fan to follow that it's not stale with the same teams over and over and over and over. Now we have some different teams. Billings is a golden oldie. I live in Billings. Won 3 national championships here in Billings, so it's always special for me to go against them. And we didn't do so well against them the last time we faced them. So definitely looking to put a better plan together. Myself do a better coaching job, and hopefully we have a chance against the defending champs.
Coach, if you would introduce us to your 2025 coaching staff.
At this moment, right now, kind of how I mentioned it, Larachi Jackson is our defensive coordinator, has all the different backgrounds and pedigrees. I can't wait to, sit down with him, not just over a Zoom call or a FaceTime or a regular meeting, actually sit in front of him and begin scheming and doing those different things. We've done that, but to get them on the board is what I can't wait to do. That's the thing I love to do with my coaches and actually understand everything he's doing. He understands everything I'm doing. So having him is huge to have Larachi Jackson. Coach Martinez has been with me, I think, 15 years or so. He does a lot of stuff for me. He's going to be my special teams coach. He's my receiver and running back coach. He's like my eyes in the sky. So he could do a little bit of everything. He also does a great job there in the community that also he sells sponsorships there. So bringing in the thousands of dollars that Coach Martinez brings in helps the Salina Liberty in so many ways, helping them find housing deals in Salina. Coach Martinez is invaluable. He also helps and gets a lot of our food vouchers that we have for our ball players. So a very valuable piece to what we have. And then Dylan Medicina as our analyst, just breaking down different things, crunching the numbers, um, charting, doing those different things that is very essential on game day. He'll be there helping us out. At this moment, that's what I have. Just looking forward to getting together with them, getting to know them, and letting them know the challenges that we're getting ready to face. Because um, we got a lot of good teams in this league, and everybody has good coaching. Everybody got good players. So we got to be ready to go from the first play all the way to our last play of this season.
Let's hit the roster. We'll start at the quarterback position. Javin Kilgo. I know Jamario Benson's played some quarterback. Tell us a little about that quarterback position for you and what it's going to look like this year.
Javin Kilgo will come back to us. He was with us in the end of 2022. He won the championship, my last championship in 2022 in the CIF, my fourth national championship. So he'll be back. He's QB1. Very, very excited. I've been trying to get him back ever since he walked out that door in 22. But to have him back brings smiles to my face. I know how hard he works. I know what this means to him. Him being away from his baby, I know he's coming for a reason to continue the work that he's already done for the Salina Liberty. So I don't expect anything less than what he did for us last time. Being a professional, being a leader, showing the guys the ropes, and basically showing everybody the Liberty way. And when your quarterback already understands that before you even get to training camp, that is a huge, huge advantage. Rio is a guy that he's going to play a lot of positions for us, just like he did last year. One of the most valuable players that we had last year on our team, arguably the smartest football player that we have on our team. He knows linebacker. He knows Jack. He knows all three DB position. He knows all three receiver position. He knows the running back and the quarterback. I mean, if I told him to go draw up offensive line stuff, I know he would be able to do that as well. So to have Rio stepping up more as a leader this year, I'm very happy to see what behind the scenes what he's evolved to this off season, taking that leadership mantle that's kind of been up in the air since we let go some pretty good football players that put in a lot of work for us. Um, Taking that mantra on, and him and a couple other ball players, but he's stepped up huge for us in that leadership role, so to say.
So let's move to wide receiver. Long list of receivers here: Ed Smith Jr., Torrance Carr, Josh Stewart, Millard Thomas, Tyler Cargill, Jalen Wilson, Robert Majors, and Dallas Dixon. Who's going to be some of your big play guys there, and what do you expect from this receiver group?
Like you said, that's a lot. That's a very deep receiver room right there. We lost some pretty good receivers. One that's going to play overseas. That he's gone that played for us last year, and then one is going to play with Southwest Kansas. So we had to replenish that, and I think we did a really good job of getting the ball players we got. The one that sticks out to me is Fast Ed. He's been with us the past 4 to 5 years. He's been a mainstay for the Salina Liberty. Going to give you a little hint. He's changing his number. So I can't wait to see the new number on him and see how that looks for him. But he will be the leader of that, not just the receiving core, the offense as well. He works very well with Javin already, as well as with Rio. He's the key to what we're trying to do. He was a little banged up last year, some ouchies and things of that nature, but now coming into the season healthy, coming into the season ready to go. It's been a big thing for us, and he's worked his butt off this off season, working out, getting ready to go for this grind. The rest of them, I'm kind of just going to leave in that open umbrella until I actually get my eyes on them in a practice setting to see what they can actually do in a meeting setting, to see analytically how sharp they actually are. It's kind of hard to have an eval, but if you just purely speaking talent, we have one of the most talented receiver rooms in the league. Guys that's played in the XFL, UFL, CFL. We have guys that were starters on teams that's won championships, indoor as well as arena. We have a lot of good football players at that position, and Coach Martinez definitely got his hands full on that one of who we actually decide to keep. But I'll leave it there because I think it'll be unfair to talk about somebody I really haven't seen on a football field in my scheme and seeing what I really expect. I just know Fast Ed is going to put in work like he always has, and we praying that he stays healthy and continue to do the things he's always done for us.
Let's look at your backfield now. I know you have a few running backs listed on the roster. You kind of use it in a non-traditional way. Tell us about Luis Gonzalez, Tracy Brooks Jr. How do you plan to use this position? And tell us a little about these guys.
We're definitely going to run the football. I mean, that's why we have true running backs that play back there. I think that is an advantage of having a guy that two guys that can actually pound the ball. They can run, both of them can run in between the tackles, they can run outside the tackles, they can catch the football, and they all can block. Luis is a little bit different. He's a little bit bigger than we've had in the past. Very intriguing recruit, so to say. Very, very smart. Very, very excited about the opportunity. Brings a lot of skill to the table. Um, he was one of my recruits. That's why I could actually talk a little bit more about him, even though he hasn't been in our program. But working with his agent, working with Luis, I'm very excited what he's going to bring to the team. Tracy Brooks, I mean, I call him Mr. MVP because he did win MVP. I think it was 2021 or so. And ever since then, I just call him Mr. MVP. A guy that can play quarterback, running back, receiver, corner, kick returner, DB. He can do anything you tell him he can do. But having him at that running back position, I think is going to be huge for us. He's worked his butt off to get himself ready to go for this season, and I'm looking forward to him having another impact type season that he always has for us.
Let's go to the big guys up front, the O-line, Jarvis Green, Ezekiel Williams, Tony Redmond, Devontae Drayton, Brandon Thorpe, and Deshaun Jackson. Tell us a little about the guys up front.
Um, it's kind of hard. Again, all of those guys are new to the team. We do have some guys again that has some NFL experience in that group. We have some guys that are first and second team all conference guys as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and we have some guys that are just chiseled vets that have done this at a very high level. So that's another position where it's going to be very difficult to try to figure out who's going to be who in that. But I'm looking forward to that challenge, and I'd rather have the talent and figure out who's going to stay than not have the talent and have to come up with all these elaborate different schemes to camouflage that as a minus for us. So I'm very excited about our offensive line. Though they're big, they're strong, they're agile, they appear to be very, very coachable. And the thing that I like, they're all finishers. When they get their hands on you, they're trying to put you on the ground. Those are the type of linemen that we recruit. Those are the type of linemen that are the most successful in any football league that you play in, especially if they can control the fury, because sometimes they get a little overboard with it. But we want guys that want to be finishers. We want guys that are hungry. We want guys with something to prove. And all of those guys up front, they definitely bring that to the table.
Let's flip over to the D-line now. George Lira, Jalen Beckton, Denez Ross, C.J. Wright, Ronald Cherry, Jordan Harris, and Dom Robertson. Tell us about how the D-line's shaking out.
Well, definitely looking forward to all those guys that you mentioned and then some. The one that sticks out to me is one of our mainstays, Travis. Travis has been with us. Travis Taylor's been with me, I think, 6, 7 years now. He's an ex-NFL ball player, played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So very, very excited for him to be leading our defensive line. He's one of those ones that's very, very hands-on. He likes to go through specific drills because he knows what works in this arena league, indoor league. He has all the experience in the world. He's another guy that's going to be huge for us on special teams. He doesn't like to come off the field. He also plays some running back for us as well. But he will be leading that defensive line, and to get him back at his natural position from day one instead of sprinkling him here and there and playing him out of position because he's such a great athlete, to get him back at the position that the last time he played defensive end for a full season, he led the CIF in sacks. He had, I think, 18 and a half sacks. So I'm definitely looking forward to him go ahead and put some numbers up like that. And I think we'll be good on that defensive line. But like, again, we do have NFL, CFL, UFL guys that are on that line and guys that are capable of playing in those leagues as well, that we're looking forward to seeing what they do, how they bring themselves to camp in shape, ready to go, and how they are in the meeting setting, walkthrough setting, as well as in practice, and how they conduct themselves off the field is kind of what we're judging right now at that spot as well. Another spot, I can say that in every position. I think we did a good job this year, more so than my 5 previous years, kind of knowing who were going to be starters, and you kind of bring in some backup guys. I didn't do it that way this year. I brought in just a few from last year's team, and they know they got to compete for their spot, and let's go. So it's nobody's going to walk into camp comfortable except for probably 2 people, which is Mr. Reynolds, who destroyed me every time we played him. He's a great kicker, but we'll talk about him in a minute. And Javin, those are the only 2 that could walk in probably with their chest poked out, as they're the number 1 at their positions and they know it.
Let's look at the jack linebacker position. How do you plan to fill that role?
Well, we had the best jack in the game. RJ is a guy that can play everything. You know, looking at him playing some corner, looking at him at jack, looking at him at middle safety, he could play receiver, and he's a special teams demon. But that's where I think he probably end up again. I mean, your first team all league for a reason. Again, if it's not broke, why try to micromanage it? He's a great football player. He understands the game. He's very, very intense. He brings that edge that I love. He can hit like a truck. He can run like a gazelle. And he brings that mindset that I like, that championship mindset that we need playing at that jack linebacker position. Rio will play some of that as well. Like I said, Rio could play a million different positions. And then we also have Dwayne Autry. He can play that position as well. So those are the 3 that come to mind that I know will go in there and battle for that spot as well. But RJ was first team all league. And I mean, again, I just love the way that kid plays. He's going to find his way on the field. He's quickly became one of my guys where I'm like, I got to have him on my team every year. I like what he brings to the table. And then I don't have to light a switch under his butt to get him going. I don't have to talk crazy to him to get him going. He is self-motivated. He comes to practice every day ready to work. He comes to meetings when ready to learn. He asks the questions that he needs to ask so he can perform at an optimal level. So I can't wait to get RJ back. And then again, for a full season of him playing Jack, because if you look at it, he started off as a corner, then he played some safety, then he played receiver, then they switched the rules again, and then he went to Jack. So to have him there for a full season, I can't wait to see the numbers he put up.
Let's go to your defensive backfield, maybe the strongest position you got on the field. Freddie McGee, Kyle Chandler, Dwayne Autry, to name a few. Tell us a little about that defensive backfield group.
Well, we got some guys back there. Chandler started, I think, 5 or 6 games for us last year. He came in when we needed him toward the end of the season, plugged a big hole for us, and did a great job for us. A veteran that understands the game, he's played in big games, knows this game backwards and forwards. Definitely thankful to have him back. Autry is the guy that played for me in 2022. Dwayne Ballhawk. Autry is the reason they call him that. I think he's 2 picks away from being 60 career interceptions. There's not too many people walking around that can say they got 60 interceptions in a pro career. He's very, very special. I thought it was very important to bring him back leadership wise. He holds people accountable, but he holds himself accountable. We need to have not a bunch of silent leaders, which we have. We needed some alpha dogs, and he's definitely an alpha dog to go along with Kerry that plays our Mac backer that are very, very vocal. And we'll learn some of the new leaders that's coming, but Autry's going to bring some kick returning. He's going to play some DB, some jack. He could do a little bit of everything. So I'm very excited to have him back. And what can you say about Freddie? Freddie's a guy that was the defensive MVP, 14 interceptions, over 25 pass breakups. The thing that I wanted him to point out is that yeah, he was the defensive player of the year, but he was not voted first or second team, which is very bizarre to me. I don't know how you could be voted the best defensive player in the league, but not be first or second team all league. So I think he's coming back with a little chip on his shoulders. He's a guy that is garnering a lot of NFL attention already. We're lucky to have him back. I don't know if we'll have him for the full season, but definitely happy to have him coming into camp, and I'm just going to enjoy him as long as we can until his opportunity at the next level picks up and goes, and he does what I know he can do at that next level as well. He's one of the best DBs I've ever coached. We got Shaq Bond, who's a guy that was all rookie team in the IFL with the Frisco team in 2023. Took a year off to get everything together, but I'm very excited what he could bring. He's a playmaking machine. He can play all over that secondary. He's locked down and he's physical and he's pretty big too. So to have him as well was huge. And then we have a couple guys that's played some outdoor football, some NFL, some UFL, CFL ball that we got coming in as well. So very excited about those guys as well. So in all, I mean, that's a lot of talent in that room, and can't wait to get to work with it. I know Larachi has been working with them over scheme already, so it's going to be very, very special to see what Coach Larachi does with these guys and have them ready to go.
Last position, coach, your kicker, Jeremy Reynolds.
Oh, well I want to go rewind to just one is the Mac backer position. We did Kerry Starks is our Mac. He does a great job for us. He's a vocal leader. He does great work on and off the field. He's a school teacher there. He's a football coach there in Salina. So I just wanted to mention him as well. Justice Henson is another one that played many years in the IFL as a linebacker. He'll be coming in competing at that linebacker spot as well. Jalen Beckton is another one that's a rookie from Avaya College, a small school, but has tremendous pass rush at that Mac backer as well as defensive end. So I just want to mention those guys as well.